I made a little screencast on how to unpack the thesis question. How do women or lack of women in The Kite Runner affect the story or give the reader insight into the novel? This made me start thinking about all sorts of things about women in the novel. The woman begging in the streets of Kabul while he eats wife, the woman being stoned to death in the stadium, Amir's mom, who we only get a picture of through another character, Asaf's mom, who's deemed to be scared of her son. It's a very male-dominated society. Amir's household, all his friends, all his father's friends, all male. The only women that show up in the flesh of the story, Soraya and Jamila, really come more than halfway through the novel, it seems, and Sanaba, who's only mentioned in letter form by Rahim Khan. And so then I started looking at the second half of the question. How does it affect the story or give the reader insight to the novel? Well, I always wonder how Amir learns to behave with women when he has had none in his life up to this point. It also clearly reflects the Afghan idea of women not as equals. Baba doesn't really provide much to Amir in terms of that empathy, kindness that women bring. It's considered soft and unimportant and weak. So with all of that in mind, how do I kind of transpose this sentence and create a good thesis? Well, here's what I came up with. The stark lack of significant women characters in The Kite Runner enhances Amir's feelings of inadequacy well into his marriage because in the brutal, male-dominated Afghan culture, there is no appreciation for Amir's type of sensitivity, reflectivity, or much empathy for him at all. So then we put this through the thesis test. Is it specific? Well, it seems to be pretty specific to the story and what's going on with the question. It's definitely arguable. I'll need to have some evidence to back it up. It's interesting for sure to think about why the author wrote the story with women so marginalized in it. It's definitely a manageable topic. I think I could, if I were going to write a paper on it, knock it out in a few paragraphs. And I think it's significant. There's something there. It's got some chops. So I might take these two ideas as main reasons and kind of start building an outline from there. Being a strong man in Afghanistan is not really preferable, it's normal. This male-dominated society, which lacks empathy, sensitivity, self-reflectivity, is personally unhealthy for Amir. So I might take those as my two main points and explore further from there. Now you try sample B.